Hello and welcome everyone. This is Blackadder at Blackadder's Place for the third time today. We'll see if it's gonna be the last one or not, but well, the important part is that we are going to be at this point starting with yet another match from the qualification for Voobly Champions League 3 by Boit and the community. So thank you very much for the hosting, and of course, well, thank you to the players as well, that we are gonna be having the opportunity to showcase their skills to the world, to you. So, joeybadz and Miracleman are gonna be right now the next couple. With Miracleman, he's gonna be starting apparently with Zeus, not gonna be kinda locked into his favorite Oranos, but I guess maybe the Atlantean could still be coming somewhere down the line. The possibility is gonna be always there. No, and joeybadz, on the other hand, he's going to be playing with Seth. He's a player that I do recognize from some previous tournaments. We have already cast him, and he should be also streaming his point of view on, well, this Twitch. Thinking it's the same joeybadz. I've already shared him before on my channel. Earlier today, he was doing some streaming there, his POV. So you can watch through his, well, simply point of view and having some good fun and understanding of his gameplay for yourself, I guess. So the first map right now for the match is going to be Watering Hole. We are going to be having some further ones potentially than Tropical Mirage and Blue Lagoon as the game number 2 and 3 in the best of 3 here in the first round of the qualification. As it seems like the starting position for Miracle is not gonna be too bad. I mean, like, Watering Hole is rarely terrible. As you can see, gonna be having some gold mine, maybe slight opening, but again, it's against Negi, so it's gonna be probably a bit of a slower game in the general. As he could be easily walling there, potentially here, but against Negi, he's probably gonna go for the front TC. Don't think there's any kind of reason to do anything else. It's kind of interesting that it's set here on the other side. Gonna be therefore probably wanting to convert some of the possible animals from the middle to bring them home. Thinking that's gonna be somewhat of an idea, or could be somewhat of an idea. Getting some elephants, I don't know, some rhinos if they're gonna be around, or rather hippos. No, and seems like that the left side is gonna be completely cut off. There's the water passage. Yeah, seems like gonna be having confirmation by Miracleman practically. So there is no passage there. All the way to the top, that's gonna be easy wall in here, possibly, and maybe some kind of short one there as well. Could be possibly helping out. But whatever the case, Karak is still curious how he's gonna be trying to play the set, because he could have been picking up any kind of other gods, and they would have been quite a bit fine. This is a great map for not practically anybody. Karak can be quite a bit comfortable here and safe in his base. Can see the gold mine, not gonna be like the best, but it's set, you can advance pretty quickly, and that's exactly right now what he's trying to do here. Can say it now 253, it's pretty good advance time. Probably will be very likely us to go for the front TC as well, frankly. Thinking it's gonna be making also pretty damn good sense here overall. And look at actually the map. Can see also not entirely too much of a hard wall into the right side. He unfortunately doesn't have a somewhat like a good TC block in that, so it's gonna be trade from the top. He's gonna be having to double triple wall, who knows, for the later game. But this gold mine is actually fairly nice. And hey Nimoron, again of course we are gonna be on 2-minute delay as usual. And Hermes 432, pretty solid. Again, shouldn't be entirely too much of a problem for either of them to take front Towncenteros, which is gonna be providing pretty good food sources for the further game for both of them. Both other players can be then enjoying tons and tons of food, and that's a lot of gold. Is he gonna be will rush in? Wait a second. Is he? No, he's gonna be taking the enemy from the... Oh, that's actually kinda smart. It's not a bad plan, frankly. As he kinda mentioned, really taking the front TC should be making sense. So this is actually a smart idea. So not any kind of extremity like the Will Rush, but this is fun. This is gonna be messing up with Miracleman, because kinda like a typical play against the Eggy is somewhat like a 3 TC, right? So at this point, getting just the second here. No, he's gonna have to be taking the easy one. Still does have good gold mine next to it, so that's gonna be at least something helping out the Greek. But on top of it, this one being so far away, no, it's not too nice. It's gonna be a bit of a problem. Luckily, he still does have food here, so it's not any kind of like real and immediate delay. That's not gonna be issue. Interesting, he's gonna be going for the barracks actually. But I've maybe expected he might be wanting to do a 2 TC fast heroic from that rather than anything else. So far, slightly kind of like curious what's gonna be the exact proceedings. Like in the joeybadz though, is trying something kind of fun. Because obviously Miracleman is going to be quite a bit of a strong favorite. Oh, that's a bit of a misclick in here. Unfortunately, that catastrophe resulting from that. No, and just gonna kind of mention, of course, Miracleman, you know him. That's a long-term player who kind of hasn't been playing as actively in the past few years, but nonetheless kind of like last maybe year already, half a year. He's been playing quite a bit. So looking forward what kind of shape he has whipped himself into for the tournament here, and how much he's gonna be able to perform, and how well. Whereas joeybadz, again, it's a player that we do know from some tournaments, has been really putting some quite nice effort into improving. Even, for example, earlier today, as he was waiting for Miracleman, seemed like he was creating some new scenarios with King of the Hill kind of thematic. So maybe you're gonna be seeing some kind of new activity in the community, even spread by him. Nice. Very neat in the ad. So you probably could be already wanting some wall either directly there or just like an easier one here. Just so that he's gonna be a bit more impervious to some potential scouting. Because not much raiding, but more like scouting I'm expecting. But in the end, maybe even just raiding is gonna be a bit of a thing here. With Watchtower getting research for Miracle, so that he doesn't have to be bothered by the villager nonsenses or the nonsenses on the villages. And can be therefore moving forward without that much of a problem there. Bit of a curious wall here. Probably wasn't entirely purposeful to do it that way. Maybe he just didn't have it scouted all that properly. But he might be wanting to also go a bit closer possibly to the settlement. Or did he kind of like do it purposefully so that he can gather hunt here, and in case raiding came he could be just kind of going immediately beyond the wall? Kind of thinking it to be maybe a bit extreme, but we kind of need to be thinking of possible reasons for, of course, the behavior that we are seeing on the game and on the map right now transpiring for us, as it's gonna be kind of like nicely and neatly one right next to the other as far as the gazelles. Kind of cool to watch. But looking at the Poppy, can see 57. Miracleman basically just not getting too many other things here. As far as the army goes, he's gonna be going for classic infantry and archers, which is interesting against Senegi. He's probably already a bit spooked off by the spearman that the opponent has made, so therefore gonna be rather relying on the classic army. Fortunately, Centaur is gonna be already gonzo. No, and we can maybe check out the economical upgrades, which are gonna be really low for the time being, as Miracleman is gonna be having handux. And is he moving for food? Yes, he is. No, and that's gonna be maybe getting him a bit closer to a possible position of getting the front TC. And of course, since we do have Set here, then Neftis is not really any kind of real danger. He did advance through Hermes, so we do have the god power possibly available to block that. And that could be also maybe helping out, taking the front TC on the other side of the map. It is still kind of stupid for him, because it's quite a distance between them. It's interesting. There's an actually blue dot in there for the food, for a moment, for the granary. In the end, he's gonna be deciding to go a bit elsewhere. So if the town center is gonna be so much locked off and away, then of course joeybadz is gonna be having better chance to possibly pull it down. So yep, just a good play here by blue. We'll see how much of an effect it's gonna be really having in the long run, as the villages apparently caught up. But that's also because joeybadz is currently advancing to the next age, and he's already gonna be like 3 villages down because of that. So that's why the difference is right now somewhat neutralized. But at least the food is gonna be slightly denied, which obviously isn't going to be still enough for a Migdol. He's gonna be able to drop one wherever he wants, and he might be even wanting to drop it next to food here possibly. Right now that actually reminds me, joeybadz is the one with the set build. On the hunt, yes. That you're mentioning multiple times on our community streams. There's a topic at RTS Sanctuary in the general discussions in each of Mythology forums about kind of like playing set late game without farms, but with actual animals born from the pharaoh. It requires some kind of micro, of course, for the villagers, but nonetheless it theoretically should be quite a bit faster. Especially kind of like in the mid-game, expecting it's gonna be faster. So looking forward to maybe his execution on top of that, or all of that. Maybe the mid-roll didn't have to be as blocked off. Rather actually be like maybe the mid-roll in front, so that it would be blocking off. There's then the water. Maybe Miracleman would be wanting to drop a dock in there. Who knows? Tough to say. Tough to say what would have really happened. But we're gonna be there right about now, having some kind of small problem, but not a huge one yet. As for the resources, wow, 1700 gold is a bit too much at this point for joeybadz. With Miracleman getting finally the heroic age as well. It's a pretty good timing for him, like very healthy timing. Really, just what the hell is up though with the gold? There's even like way too many villages there on the gold. For not much of a good reason. Unless he wants to be playing somewhat like a Age of Empires 2 variant of advances, that means getting tons of gold and then buying the resources for the advance. Maybe that could work. Theoretically, I can see that being a bit of a thing. But well, so far, just needing to be, of course, getting joeybadz a bit of a lay of the land, so that he's gonna be having full expectation of the map. And boots off kick everything. Not like a game changer completely in this match. And by the way, did we collect the other one? No. So there's gonna be still a second relic somewhere that we don't entirely know what it's gonna be about and what it's doing. At least I don't remember seeing that. There is. With even Horus fairly quickly, that gonna be avoiding some kind of heroic engagements, sorry. So he probably will be wanting to jump ahead from Miracleman's point of view as well. Even though it seems like he's not entirely like ready for that yet. But he wants to be not entirely delaying too much, because obviously Forge of Olympus for him is gonna be quite a bit of an important part. And at this point Forge of Olympus is a standard, but we could also theoretically get Earth. No, we couldn't, because I'm just way too used not having Zeus, having a Hades and whatnot, so scratch that. Yeah, Hera is not making any kind of sense here, so has to be Hephaestus with the Zeus. For the other gods, for Hades and Posse, in this situation I can definitely see Earthquake to deal with the whole forward base would be somewhat of an interesting play. I'm gonna always prefer though Hephaestus against Aegis, because you're usually gonna be rarely winning through like the Earthquake cast against Aegis. And there we go, they're gonna be the animals of course getting born. Smendes, no well, I could better spread his arse I guess. Or we're kinda gonna be hoping they're not going literally from him, and they're gonna be like just, I don't know, beamed down from the gods. Yeah, wouldn't otherwise want to be actually the pharaoh. I mean like, something for something else, right? Quid pro quo. If you're gonna be considered the god of your own people, kinda like playing on the real gods. But well, whatever the case, you're gonna be there for. On the pop limit fairly nicely stretched. And kinda curious if maybe joeybadz could be finally wanting to get an extra DC, considering he's really high on gold all the time. With Miracleman, finally Hefa, not gonna be really anything too surprising here. And yeah, I'm kinda really thinking there needs to be a extra TC for Joey. Or is he getting some upgrades? He's getting 45, that's cool. On the other side, the same. But thinking that I taking the front TC, probably this one, just to kind of completely block the opponent, will be making pretty good sense here. So apparently Crocodile is coming forward, Ancestors as well, Eclipse, Ceasefire. It's a question if it actually needs to be even cast here. Because the attack is not entirely that powerful, you don't have that many siege towers yet. We do have nice wall-in, so therefore they won't be able to pass all that easily. And Odysseus can be starting working on them already. And the tornado coming up. But now, yeah, okay. So there's a tornado. Luckily, Miracleman played this correctly, so therefore his mythical age is gonna be in a different TC and in a different castle. So let's see if this one is gonna be getting destroyed. Seems like that it should be. Okay, so TC gone. At least a bit of a small problem with the population limit here. And looking at the overall, I mean, like really, I'm thinking that joeybadz should have been taking the extra TC. Seems like that his economy is allowing for that quite a bit easily. Just finishing here, gonna be having Shaft Mine as the one extra upgrade. On the other side, it's gonna be fairly solid as far as the upgrades as well. Not much of a problem there. I could be seeing as well, or either. You can say number of protection for the Plenty Vault. stuck and tucked in the corner. And of course we need to be getting still a bit more favor for the Fortune of Olympus. It was actually a fairly important kill here. Gonna be slowing him down, and much more importantly, it is going to be also taken away the possibility of the free Colossus, which sucks even more. That would have been quite a nice addition, considering that the other side, yes, it doesn't have Son of Osiris because he's set. No, Myrmidon's coming forward, which isn't entirely something you want against the Eggy. It's really kind of like a unit that's very tempting to use as a Zeus, but not against an Aegis. Aegis are having very easy time countering it, Axemen shred them, and it's very expensive. I mean, like Charioteers are also gonna be pretty good against those, so you don't want to be overdoing it with them. Against Norse and Atlanteans, they're fine. If you're gonna be keeping, of course, care of the country, especially against Norse, they are the best. But against the Aegis, not kind of liking that, because it's gonna be, of course, costing quite a bit of resources, and not only on literally those, but also on the pop limit. As finally the third DC for joeybadz is gonna be finished. He has taken the one that we recommended. No, and Miracleman is having quite a bit of a kind of tough moment here in front of him. You can say now his economy kind of suffering. Gold mine is gonna be still there, but only 7 hundo left. Next one, playable, I guess, but hard one. The one to the right side is probably gonna be making a bit more sense, but it's a very long trip. He's gonna have to walk all across the map, which is good 40 seconds, where he's not gonna be gathering anything at all, so I'm not entirely liking his chances here. He's gonna be having to play it really damn carefully for the next few minutes. We finally having some good Forge of Olympus upgrades. Yeah, I can say now some copper weapons and whatever coming slowly up, with joeybadz having at least copper sheldos. And well, let's recheck the economical upgrades. Second level's full for red, whereas blue is gonna be at currently still the same shaft mine and stuff, and apparently continuing on the animals as well. No, and there we go. Pharaoh is gonna be birthing Drynos. Does he actually have a reasonable amount of monuments? 3. Right. Maybe he could be getting a bit higher as well still. Or he could be also right now continue with the food here. So he's gonna be jumping onto gold mine. He still do have quite excellent ones for joeybadz next to his base to the left, if you look at the minimap. So there are still like great options for him. He doesn't have to be necessarily gathering forward here. That is not what he's gonna be required to do. Still the top side, no. Well, Miracleman kind of optimistic about the food here possibly, as the town center has been already taken, because, well, he probably didn't know which one has been collected. And apparently it looks like it's gonna be in the end quite a bit soon, all 4 of them. All 4 of them indeed, but heavy infantry, double bronze and copper already. Both are for joeybadz, increasing the economy here slightly, in champion infantry for Miracleman. So it seems like that he has actually survived his kind of like clinical death for a moment in there. Of course, ceasefire being quite a significant portion and piece of that success, as you'll be expecting, and as it very commonly is. Still having the auto queue on him, on Drynos. There we go. I mean, like, the Rhinos are actually fairly solid for the fights. They do have decent hit points, resistances are also not really crap at all, especially the Pierce one. Even the melee for normal units is fairly nice and solid. 15 attack is also not too disappointing, so fairly nice dude. That can be helping out in the fights. No, and you can straight now 140 pop limit for Miracleman, whereas joeybadz is at only 106 and having a significant problem with the gold. As Miracleman has already made the trip all the way to the right corner, whereas, well, unfortunately, joeybadz hasn't made his transition to the left side yet. And he has also right now, you can say now, dropped below the villages of Miracleman, which also wasn't the case before. And you can say now the champion infantry being quite a bit impressive here in the middle of the fight. Iron weapons, oh yeah, it seems like that right now the Forge of Olympus power. That's exactly why I prefer Hephaestus for these matchups against Aegis, because the Aegis simply shouldn't be able to like, up as fast as you into the armory and everything. So this is why Miracleman is gonna be having a good time here. No, but still would be actually quite a bit useful to be having some siege weapons. Doesn't entirely matter if it would be one or the other. Where would he be dropping the fortress? No, maybe like even protecting his base, frankly. Doesn't seem like too much of a bad idea. Like in the build-up of the triple armories. It's actually something that with even Hephaestus is not like extremely common lately. It was a bit more of an older thing to be advancing into the Forge of Olympus and then just like mass it as soon as possible. But yeah, well, in case you are having the resources for that, then obviously don't be afraid to make multiples. As of course the bonus of the infantry against the buildings right now working quite a bit wonders for Miracleman. That's gonna be 1 TC down and quite a good chance that actually maybe even Miracle could be getting it himself. Now looking at the resources, definitely. He already should be having some villages being sent up, but in the end he decided to be potentially seeing if he can destroy keep the underworld passage. But the rhinos with the siege towers, that's gonna be quite an easy kill. And oof, really? That probably could have been kill also of the fortress. Yeah, I'm thinking it could have been, but well, in the end, gonna be deciding otherwise, Mr. joeybadz. At least the underworld passage is gone. So therefore the next kind of like move forward is gonna have to go through some normal means. But on the other hand, the normal means maybe could be even right now from this TC. Once he of course gets going with a few more military buildings around there. Yeah, should be making like a second party and second group of those, because obviously this is nicely spotted. But having more opportunities would be always nice. And finally you can see even some Helepolis coming up, ready for the possible fight. Looking at the gold, still problems for joeybadz. He's finally at least moved into the second gold mine on the left of his base. It's nice to watch. Double second upgrade, still the same. And apparently gonna be having some forgotten auto queues here with pretty good upgrades. Just missing flat control for Miracleman. But yes, those buildings, they need to be actually fixed as soon as possible so that he's gonna be utilizing his full power on the military. As you can see, joeybadz at only 100 pop limit, whereas Miracleman is gonna be very soon at the full pop at 3 TCs. Okay, gonna be there for right now. Pretty much done so. All the upgrades, just missing right now the faster creation with levy and conscription. No, and obviously a bit of a funny fortress here. Maybe it could have been starting with just towers, but yes, this is gonna be at least something. And Mendez still popping out some further rhinos. Yeah, this one is gonna be a bit too cheeky by Miracleman, but the idea is obviously correct. And it's gonna be just a question of time before some reasonable army comes up. And it's gonna be blocking joeybadz anyway. And by the way, he's so far playing the farmless, yes. Yeah, so far playing still completely farmless, even having right now monument to pharaohs. Missing there for the one to the gods, I guess, for the time being. As of course the Migdol is gonna be definitely needed here. It's a real danger to those villages on the gold. I mean, like the gold itself is not like extremely important. You can also go a bit elsewhere, but it's nice to be having villages next to front line as well, so that they can be helping repair the TCs. They can be of course getting some more military on the ground. It's not bad at all, but the problem is that currently he does have basically barely any kind of army. He's having tons of gold, so he can theoretically have autoqueue on the mercenaries. So it seems like it kind of like joeybadz's plan wasn't bad, but he's just in general getting a bit overwhelmed by the progress of the game. And Miracleman, well, his experience is definitely right now showing through. Yeah, the Myrmidons, simply since they're not having any kind of proper counter with the Axemen against them, then they're just working quite a bit fine. Because they do have their power, a lot of hit points, good defenses and whatnot. But again, if you will be seeing some standard play with tons of Axemen spammed against them, they'll be just getting completely destroyed, as Axemen are really having quite nice statistics against those. They are excellent unit against infantry. Not even talking about the cost, of course, and 2 versus 3 pop limit. Now come, so that's gonna be a, not TC, but rather Migdol. Immediately gone, the second definitely not likely it's gonna be even getting finished, especially since Pharaoh is gone for the next 90 seconds. And it's gonna be therefore resulting into GG for Miracleman in the first game. And we're gonna be heading into Tropical Mirage as the second game of the match. Okay then, so let's therefore have a look into some statistics. Maybe can I check out last upgrades. Probably not gonna be anything even new here from joeybadz. I'm expecting, yes, it's gonna be the same. Maybe flat control is still missing as well here for Miraclemanos. already, of course, aiming for the town center immediately. All the ups here. Sunray. Do we have some army from blue still? Just the rhinos with feral. But otherwise, nothing else here. Okay, let's definitely have a look into the post. We have resumed for them. Yes, we have. So they can potentially start anew if they really want to. And that's gonna be probably quite a bit significantly in favor of Miracleman by now. It was a long enough game rather. Max villages, that's gonna be some 8,000 and 8.5, so 16.5 and 4, but like 20,500 resources. Damn. That's actually a huge difference in the military count, same-ish. Of course, gonna be having some different results. So maybe it could have been looking a bit kind of scary for Miracleman, but ceasefire solves a lot of problems like these. And in the end, he has good economic carried him. 29 rhinos. Good attempt by joeybadz though for like the set build. Always like seeing this kind of theory crafting. GG.